What's up, my friends? It's Carpo here. It's sometime around midnight here in the bus, kicking back. I've got the subdued lighting on. A couple of LED lights that I installed. I guess I can see the red shadow from one. It's a my own light cover I made out of resins. So I just thought I'd make this quick video about basically what I've been up to. I have a couple things I wanted to talk about, but I'm going to do that in a separate video. One about kratom and this whole thing with the FDA, which is just absurd and getting out of hand. But I want to put that into a more serious note. Keep it by itself, keep it isolated. And as most of you know, I like to do free-form and rather long-form videos. That's my style, that's the way I've always done it, and the way I think it should be done. And what I mean by that is I don't edit out 90% of what I say and just throw a bunch of sound bites together. I want people to know that the things that I say come from my heart. I don't stop to go do some quick research and then come back really quick with a witty response or something, or a joke. It's like it's hard to think up things on the spot that are important, but most of the videos I do, I try to make somewhat important. That said, I've failed to make any kratom videos. I've lost interest, rather, or it would appear that I've lost interest in making kratom videos. And or some folks might think that I fear even talking about it because of what's been going on. And as many of you know, I'm a vendor, or I have been, and a lot of people have been emailing me saying, hey, there's no kratom on your website. And that's correct. At the moment, I'm taking kind of a short sabbatical, not just for the Christmas, not just for the summer vacation and going out and doing things, but to actually rethink my strategy on how I want to pursue this. So that'll come in a later video. In the meantime, I'm like, well, what am I going to do to make income? So I started working with resins, and so I've really, my true passion is art. I don't want to be a merchant my whole life. I really like helping people, but I also like seeing people inspired by art, and I don't want to be the starving artist type, but at least as a supplemental income, rather. Most of you out there, many of you who are artists, are probably well aware that art is something that is difficult to get what it's worth for. People talk about of course there are some very high-priced artists, out there. That whole thing is a sham, the whole New York art scene and all that. But when we're just talking about designing and creating things, it's a totally different story. To give you an example of what I've been working on, I actually I have these bracelets right here that I made. One of them has old man's beard in it, which someone suggested to me, and one is infused with a high CBD cannabis. Actually, all three of these are. But the beauty of these things, and I went and ordered a 10-pack of these LEDs, which I'm going to give away with some of my nicer stuff. But I really love working with resin, and when I mixed the cannabis, the resin, and various glow powders, I ended up with some pretty damn cool stuff. And these still need to be worked out and have some rough edges taken down, and then go through a dozen layers of sandpaper, all the way up to like 10,000 grit. But this one, for example, I haven't even pulled this one out yet. It's a ring that I just took out. I could turn off the light, and maybe it'll even show better. Those are pretty beautiful. I really like that. And the one I'm wearing right now still needs to be finished too. But they charge up bright. And I love working with glow powder. In fact, I have several jewels that I've made that are just like 100 of them that are up on my ceiling in the bus, and a black light that I can turn on. It instantly charges them up. And I'm still working on that process. But yeah, working with resin is pretty cool, and I've already had several requests by people who want to buy these ones. You probably can't see it in the camera, but it's made, I'm wearing one around my neck as an example. This is the one that I personally love. It's got glow all the way through it, but mostly on the top and the bottom. And with the light out, you can see kind of the patterns in it. And what it has is clear resin in the middle with mushrooms on each side. Basically, those are shelf fungus, just like the ones that I have in the bus here next to me. And they're carefully sliced to look like wood, and then they're sealed with CA glue to make sure that they're protected and they're not going to fall apart or rot. And then I do a variety of different lacquers. So anyway, that's one of the things that I'm going to be doing. I mean, I'm just basically going over the things that I've been up to lately, because I haven't really made any videos. And I figured it feels good to kind of just talk about what's going on in life. As for the bus here, we just got back from an 800-mile journey out to the gorge, to the Dead, and then down to Eugene, and then back here. It was crazy. I mean, it was sometimes slow as heck, 30 miles an hour up some of those mountains in this thing, but she made it, and yes, that's why we named her Patience. And before that, we took a trip to some lakes. I mean, we went through $100 in gas just going like 150 miles or something. I mean, it's just, it's insane. No, sorry, yeah, something like that. Yeah, it was a lot. But anyhow, we love having a bus, and it's kind of, you know, been something that I've always dreamed of. So the videos I was making on this channel, I didn't really, it was mostly my school bus channel that I was uploading on before for videos of the bus, and I have a bunch of the whole process, but I haven't done any. I just made one today I was going to upload, but I'm doing all the fine-tuning, you know, with the solar panels, actually taking it on trips, seeing, you know, what works, what doesn't, you know, out at the gorge, and we had plenty of sun, so this, you know, we had lots of power. It could power the subwoofer and all the lights and everything. Out camping, it got kind of close to low, even with 2 big batteries, because we were parked in the woods, basically. So no solar, no power, and I do have a generator for it that works. But so I don't know. I guess there's one thing, you know. There I am trying to figure out how to make a living, but also at the same time spending more money than I should on gas in the bus. But that's what summer is for. You know, like my wife has limited time off. She's a server, and she busts her ass. And when she has time off, then we've got to go do some stuff. So other than that, you know, life's been pretty crazy lately. I mean, it just seems like it's one thing after another. You know, things getting thrown at me. So many people are still saying, "Oh, I didn't even know your channel was back," or you know, it's a bummer that your channel's gone. This one, and this is going to be Carpos 719 channel, and it's probably confusing that I'm uploading to each one differently, but I think I'll upload most of them on this one eventually if the strikes that are on there go away. But it doesn't really matter anyhow. I go through a phase where I want to make a video and talk to people, and I have all these ideas, and then I'm just like, why bother? Why talk to a camera and to a few people on YouTube? Like, it just seems like what we're up against, you know, as far as like life's complicated enough to not have to, you know, to try to rally around all these causes, because I would love to just talk about life, but I find myself getting frustrated at what's going on in the world, just like everyone else, and feeling like it's important to talk about it. Especially with this kratom thing, you know, it's really hard not to. You know, it's like you've got to take it while you can, you know, fight while you can. Other than that, oh, one other thing I really did want to say before I forget is thank you to my Patreon supporters. I know that sounds funny coming from me. I never mentioned that, but I do have a few. When my channel got shut down, I kind of got bummed out for a while. I totally forgot about my Patreon account. And I only have like 6 or 7 people. I should list y'all, you know, like, so props to you all. I'd have to look it up, but I realized that I had that account still, and I should, you know, that I should still be making videos. At the very least, you know, that there's people that really are willing to donate to me to sit and talk to the camera, because for some reason they're gaining something, and I think that's great. I have a really hard time assuming that my words are as valuable as people say they are. So as an individual, I guess I'm a little bit shy about it and awkward, you know, even mentioning it, but I'm mentioning it. Thank you. And I'm thinking I might do something here in the future. You can send me a message through Patreon if you are a supporter, and I will send you that book. I have a copy of a book that I wrote, and as well one that I'm working on if you're interested, about opioids. And I think it's going to be an interesting paper, not just about opioids, but pharmaceuticals in general. And, you know, I have a lot to say, but I have a hard time getting it all out properly. There's so many people that are so much more well organized than me. I'm not organized on paper or with pen. I tend to think in fragmented sessions of information. So I thought something interesting might be to do would be to my Patreon supporters, if you want, I can do a personalized research for you, at least something, you know, because since I love to look into topics, I figured it's the least I could do. So, you know, that might be one thing I could give back. But ideas are always welcome too. But really, I just want to say thank you to all of you too for the awesome comments that I've always got over the last frickin' 9 years or so. I mean, it's just crazy how long it's been. Well, no, 7 years, I guess. Not 9. I was like, wait a minute, it hasn't been that long. I like the digital world, watching all of this happen and unfold. And I feel like we need more leaders out here. And there are too many people who are blindly following anybody with a suit and a tie that's willing to tell them what they want to hear. And this goes for both sides. Hey, all sides, left, right, up, down, no matter what type of, you know, person you support. I've had too many people say, I listen to so-and-so, he's the gospel, he knows what he's talking about, I trust his judgment. Look, we have to trust ourselves, but we also have to trust the experts, of course. But ask yourself, what is authority? Authority is author, just like author, the word. That's someone who actually has the expertise and understanding in that field. And sometimes we have to give up control of what we think we know to other people who are experts. But it's important that we're sure that these people know what they're talking about. And when it comes to politicians, we're all just getting shafted by believing that because they look nice, dress nice, or have fancy words, that they know what's best. And I feel a leadership of the people coming on, and I feel that each one of us is going to have to partake in that. We're already taking over the media, and there's no reason why in a couple decades or less we can't all be in a whole new system within our own country. So I'll leave it at that. Peace, love, all that stuff. You know, we're all humans. We're all here together. And I hope to talk to you all soon again. I suppose before I go, I should show you my the light I was telling you about. Here we go. So turn on the black light, right? And it has various programs on it. And then I can just shine it around on the ceiling. Then I can turn it back off. And man, it glows like crazy, huh? Pretty cool. I love my bus. I love our bus. And this is the little funky resin thing I made. It was just an afterthought to wrap around the light. It's pretty cool though. And here's another one I made out of blocks. So that's my video and my hello. I'm gonna get down and dirty here and start making some serious videos. So be prepared for that if you're interested. And thanks for subscribing, and you guys are awesome. Peace.